Good morning, everyone. In the previous session of Management of Financial Services, I was explaining about debenture, the various types of debenture, and the merits and demerits of debenture. So in this session, I am going to explain the last point of capital market instrument, that is called bonds. So in this session, first of all, I am going to explain what is the meaning of bond, what are the various types of bonds, and then I'm going to explain about the advantages and disadvantages of bonds. Okay, so this session will be the last session of the first unit. After this session, your entire first unit will be over. So before beginning with the second unit, I will have a Google Meet discussion with you all so that we can discuss what you have understood, what you are not able to understand. So that discussion we are going to have before the beginning of the second unit. So in this session, so I'll explain about bonds, types of bonds, and merits and demerits. So let's begin the session. So bonds are debt instruments which are issued by companies or government. So like debentures, bonds are also debt instruments which are issued by the organizations, which are issued by the government for raising a large amount of money or raising a large amount of money to finance for the organization. Okay, so this is one of the important source of financing from the organization's point of view as well as from the government point of view. Okay, so in order to fulfill the capital requirements of the organization, they decide to issue bonds. Now, if a investor would like to purchase a bond, would like to invest a bond, that investor lends the money for a fixed time period and at a predetermined interest rate. Now here the interest rate is also called coupon rate. So whenever someone or any institutions want to purchase any kind of bond, they invest that much amount of money for a long and specific time period. So this maturity date or this time period can be around like 5 years, 10 years, 20 years, or even more than that. So the time period, the duration of bonds is very, we can say it includes a large number of years. So that's why it contributes to the capital of the organization, because the money stays with the organization for a very long time period. So this is also considered as a good source of finance or good source of raising finance for any kind of organizational requirement. Okay, so like debentures, they also have a maturity date, and at the maturity date they will get a certain amount of money back. Okay, so previously, like I said, they have a interest rate. Now this interest rate is actually fixed like the maturity date. So this interest rate is actually fixed. The coupon, the interest or the coupon rate is fixed by the organization. It will be mentioned in the bonds. So interest will be paid to the holder of the bonds within a specific time period on a regular basis. So every detail about the interest, how it is supposed to be paid to the investor, it will be mentioned in the bond. Clear? So this interest rate can be paid to the bond holders on an annual basis, or it can be paid twice in 1 year or semi-annually basis. So it depends upon the organization, means how they pay the interest, in what duration they want to pay the interest to the bond holders. Okay, so after the maturity date, a lump sum amount of money will be given back to the investors. So that is after that happens after the maturity date. So these bonds can be issued at par, means it can be issued at face value, or the organization can issue the bonds less than the face value, that is they can issue at a discount rate, or they can issue at a premium, that is more than the face value. So it depends upon the organization what would be the issue price of the bond. Okay, so basically bonds are like debt instruments like debentures, but they are little bit different from them because they are issued both by the companies and by the government. Okay, now like I said, the interest rate, these interest rate or coupon rate are fixed during the time of purchase of the bond. So whenever an investor would like to purchase a bond, the interest rate will be mentioned. the other conditions related to the bonds will be mentioned in the bond. So whoever wants to invest in bonds, they will go through all the details, and then they will make a decision whether to purchase the bond or not. Okay, so this is all about the meaning, or you can also say that these can also be considered as the features of the bonds. Okay, now I will explain about the various types of bonds which can be issued by the organizations or by the government. So the first type of bond here is mentioned is zero coupon bonds. So zero coupon bonds basically here means that they do not have a fixed rate of interest. What happens usually in this type of bond? These bonds are issued at discount. They are not issued at face value. But when they are redeemed at the maturity date, they are redeemed at the face value, at the rate of the face value. So the difference of the issue of the price of the issue and the redeemable price, that difference is actually the total interest of the bond. So the entire amount of interest is paid at once at the maturity date. Okay. So zero coupon bond simply means it does not have a fixed interest where the interest is paid on the regular basis. Instead of that, it is issued at a discounted price and redeemed when the amount is paid back to the investor. They are paid at the face value, and the difference between the discount price and the redeemable price is the actual interest, total amount of interest which is paid by the organization to the bondholders. Okay, the second type of bond is mortgage bond. Now these bonds are have mortgage, means they are backed by a certain kind of asset or equipment. So whenever these bonds are issued to any investors, they have a certain kind of asset behind that. So that's why it is called mortgage bond. So the organization keeps a asset as a mortgage under this type of bond. Okay. So these bonds are issued by the organization, by the corporates, and they have physical assets. They are secured by the physical asset. Physical asset means it may be a land, it may be a building, or it may be anything which are physical in nature, which are tangible in nature. So they are backed by the physical assets. Okay. The next one is convertible bonds. Convertible bonds here means that after a certain period of time, these bonds will be converted into shares. Now, the conversion ratio and the conversion price will be decided while creation of the bond when the investor invests in such type of bonds. So the conversion ratio and the conversion price is predetermined. It is determined in advance. Okay. Now convertible bonds means the bonds will be converted into shares. So how many number of shares will be issued by taking this convertible bond? That needs to be decided in advance, and at what price it will be converted. So that is convertible bond. The next one is step up bonds. Step up bonds, they have regular interest payment to the bondholders. But what happens in this type of bond? During the initial stages, during the initial time period, the interest amount is less. And after certain number of years, the interest amount increases. That is the most important feature of step-up bond. Okay. So basically during the during the initial years of the bond time period, the coupon rate or the interest rate is very low. The bondholders are paid a very lower amount of interest. They are paid a lower rate of interest. But after few years, the interest rate or the coupon rate increases. Okay. The next one is callable and non-callable bonds. Callable bonds means they can be called back by the organization, by the issuers before the maturity date. It means it can be redeemed before the maturity date. So that is the callable bond. Now these features need to be mentioned before the time of, during the time of creation of bond. The investor needs to know in what type of bond they are actually interested, in what type of bond they are actually investing. Okay, So callable bond here means that before the maturity time period, the bond can be redeemed or can be called by the called by the issuers. Second one is callable bonds, non-callable bonds. It simply means that it can be redeemed only after the maturity date. So on the maturity date, the non-callable bonds will be redeemed. Before the maturity date, they cannot be redeemed. They cannot be called by the called by the issuers of the bonds. Okay, so that is the basic feature of callable and non-callable bond. Okay, the next one here is the option bonds. Clear? In option bonds, the investors actually have a certain option regarding the payment of interest, how they would like to be paid, in what form they would like to be paid, the interest amount. So here the option means whether they can go for cumulative interest or non-cumulative interest. So cumulative interest here means if an investor decides to take cumulative form of interest, they have to simply, what they have to do, the interest will be paid at the time of the maturity date. So at the maturity date or during the maturity time period, after the maturity time period, the entire interest will be paid at once. So there is no regular payment or yearly payment of interest under the cumulative interest bond, or we can say option bond. If the investor takes the option of cumulative interest rate, it means that the entire amount of interest will be paid at once after the maturity date. Okay, so if the investor would go for non-cumulative interest rate, it means that the investor would get the regular payment of interest, whether it is a yearly basis or whether it is semi-annually basis. So interest will be paid on non-cumulative basis on a regular basis, whether it is yearly or semi-annually. Okay, the next one is bonds with warrants. Okay, so bonds with warrants actually means that the holders of these bonds, they can buy a specific number of shares at a specific rate in future. That means the number and rate of shares will be decided in advance. So suppose today you have purchased a bond with warrant, so it will be mentioned that how many number of shares you would purchase at what price. So after a certain time period in future, you can purchase certain number of bonds at a particular price. So these things will be predetermined in nature. The number of shares to be purchased in future, and after how many years the number of shares would be purchased and at what price. All these three conditions would be mentioned in the bond. Okay, now these bonds with warrants, they have we can say more weightage than the other bonds because it is more attractive to the investors. They can also have shares after a certain time period, but the price is fixed during the initial stages of the bonds when we enter into a agreement, when we purchase a bond. So all the conditions are decided in advance for a future time period. So that kind of condition makes this bond more attractive to the investors. Okay, and the next one is floating rate bond. Okay, so in this type of bond, the rate of interest will be very fluctuating. So here what happens, they will fix a benchmark rate. Benchmark interest rate or benchmark coupon rate means the minimum amount of interest which will be payable to the bond holders. So this is the minimum amount of interest. The interest cannot be lower than that. But when the market conditions become stable, when the market price of the bonds increases, they can increase the interest rate. So here simply means that they get a fixed rate of interest, that is the benchmark rate, but it have a tendency of increasing with the passage of time. So they will give the interest rate on a floating rate basis, means the interest rate will be very fluctuative in nature. So in future it may increase, it may decrease, but they will get a minimum rate of interest, that is the benchmark rate. Below that they will not be paid any kind of interest. For example, the benchmark rate is 10%, so they will get 10%. It may be 12, it may be 15, and after 15, it can be also 13%. So that is very fluctuating. A benchmark is set, and above that, the rate of interest will be fluctuating. So whatever will be the present rate of interest, according to that, the interest will be paid to the bondholders. Okay, so these are the various types of bonds. Here. The next portion is the advantages of bonds. So what are the basic advantages of bond? So bonds are often considered to be very liquid. Now what does liquid actually mean here? It means that it is very easy for the organizations, for the corporates to sell the bonds, because if you compare bonds with the equity shares have many problems with it. We cannot say problems, but many formalities. They are not easy to sell because of many features of shares. But bonds, because they are very liquid in nature, they can be easily sold, they can be easily purchased and sold in the secondary market. So it becomes very easy for any organization to issue bonds in comparison to equity shares or any kind of other shares. Okay, the next one is bonds are more attractive. Now if we compare bonds with shares, bonds will be considered more attractive because the interest is fixed. But in case of equity shares, the dividends are not fixed. So whatever will be left out from the profit after payment of interest, payment of the dividend of the preference share, then the profit will be distributed as dividends to the equity shareholders. But in case of bonds, they get a fixed rate of interest, which makes it more attractive from the investor point of view. So if our organization would like to purchase a bond, this fixed rate of interest will be considered as a basic advantage or basic point on the basis of which an investor would like to purchase a bond. Okay, and the next advantage is the availability of variety of bonds. Like I said, there are various types of bonds. Each and every investor would have certain kind of preference while making investment. So because variety of bonds are available, they are issued by the corporates, they are available. So it makes it more easier for the investor to select a particular type of bond depending upon their type of investment, how much amount they would like to invest, what kind of interest they would like to have, whether they want to get the entire interest after a certain time period, or they would like to have a regular amount of interest each year, whether once in a year or twice in a year, whether they would like to purchase a convertible bond which can be easily converted into shares. So that preference is available in case of bonds. So investor can invest in any type of bond according to their preference, according to their choice. Okay, the next one is no dilution of value of existing shareholders. Now, like debentures, bond holders do not have any kind of voting rights, so it does not dilute the rights or the value of the shareholders or the shareholdings held by the shareholders. So their voting right, their power does not decrease. So it does not basically dilute the power of the shareholders. So bonds do not have any voting rights. They cannot get involved in the decision making process of the management. So this makes very beneficial from the point of view of the organization. They will simply issue bonds. They will give interest on the bonds without getting any kind of involvement from the bond holders. Okay, and the last advantage here is that more cash to be retained in the business. Like I said, the time period of a bond usually is very long, like 5 years, 10 years, 15 years, 20 years. So that much amount of money would stay within the organization for that much amount of time, whether it is 5, 10 or 15 years. So this acts like a permanent source of fund to many organizations when it stays within the organization for such a long time period, 10, 15 years or even more than that. So it provides more cash to the organization, which will retain within the organization for a longer time period. Okay, now let us discuss the disadvantages of bonds like debentures, equity shares, and preference shares, bonds also have certain disadvantages or demerits. So the first demerit or disadvantage is that bonds are subject to various types of risks. Okay, so bonds have various types of risk here. So the first type of risk, that is credit risk. Credit risk means that the chances of non-payment of the debt means the organization would have some kind of financial problems due to which it will be unable to pay the amount of money back, that is the bond amount, the total amount. So during the maturity time period, the organization may not have certain kind of liquid. It will also lead to liquidity risk when the organization does not have liquid funds available where they cannot pay the interest. There is also a risk of interest rate, where due to excessive fluctuation of interest rate, the bond holders do not get a particular amount of interest rate. And the next type of risk is that prepayment risk. Prepayment risk means if the organization decides to give back a certain amount of money from the bond, they do not have to pay interest on that money which they have already returned. So that is one type of risk. So these kind of different types of risk are faced by the investors. So when they want to invest in bonds, they have to go through various types of risk. So that actually decreases the interest of the investors in the investment of bonds. Okay, the next one is regular interest creates burden on the organization, because there are many types of bonds where the organization have to pay a regular interest, whether yearly or half yearly or semi-annually. They have to pay interest on a regular basis to the bondholders. So this creates a burden on the organization that every time they have to keep paying this much amount of money as interest. So if they have raised a large amount of money from such kind of bonds, they have to regularly pay the interest. That will create problem in the organization. It may also lead to liquidity crisis when a large amount of profit is distributed as interest. So that will lead to many kinds of problems. It will reduce the retained earnings and all that. Okay, the next one is reduction in share value. So this is the last disadvantage, which means is a reduction in share value. Okay, so what happens when the profit, the total profit of the organization decrease due to any reason? They are supposed to pay interest to the debenture holders and the bond holders. They have to pay debenture holders and the bond holders that amount of interest. And because of payment of regular interest, the equity shareholders do not get some kind of dividend, because the most of the profit is being used for payment of interest, and other amount is left with the organization for other obligations. So the value of the shares decreases because profit has decreased, but the interest rate needs to be fulfilled, the interest need to be paid. And because of these many problems, equity shares do not get dividend on time. And because of these problems, they would like to sell the shares, which would actually decrease the market price of the equity shares. So bonds may lead to such kind of problems in the organization. Okay, so this is all about the disadvantages of bonds. So in this session, I have explained about bonds, the various types of bonds, and what are the advantages and disadvantages of bonds from the organization as well as from the investor's point of view. Okay, so this is the last session of first unit, as I have already said. So before starting the next unit, I will conduct a Google Meet where we can discuss about the first unit. So that's it for today. We will meet in the next session. Thank you.